In this video, I'm going to be telling you guys how I got my 22 unit building. So many of you guys were actually asking me in the comment section how I got a big building, so I wanted to take the time and explain to you guys how it actually goes down, how you actually find big deals, and some of the process on how to actually close on them. But first, if you guys are new here, if you guys could hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, it would help me out a lot. You might see the flashy Instagram post, me posting that I got the 22 unit building and it looks all amazing, but what you really don't see is about 6 months lead up to these buildings. You see, I go all the way back into my emails and I got sent this building by an agent back in last May. So that's almost a year ago. And when I first got it, it didn't make sense. But you know what actually happened? The market kept going up and buildings were getting harder and harder to get. So a bit of a lesson learned, if you do see a property, it's better to get it that year because next year it's likely going up, especially in this hot market. So one day in the fall, I go back through the old emails and I find this building and I decide, you know what? I'm gonna write an offer and send it to that agent. A lot of big buildings do not hit the MLS. A lot of emails are happening behind the scenes in order to get these properties. I saw that there was 22 units within the building, so I decided to pretty coldly offer 2.2 million. You see, I'm not necessarily buying on the cap rates and I don't necessarily care about the rents. I just generally want a price per unit. My corporation has full-time contractors and property managers, and we kind of know what we're doing to get into these properties, to renovate them and rent them out for hire. So whereas most people buying properties are looking for how the building's actually operating, we're looking for what can we do to improve the property in a very short time, even 1 year. So with that, I send the offer out and I get a response back maybe one day later and they counter at 2.4. After some back and forth, we ended up settling on 2.3, but with a $100,000 vendor take back for 1 year. So there we have it. I knew about the property in May and I don't get this under contract all the way till the fall. Perhaps if I struck in May, it would have been cheaper, but who knows, maybe they wanted their higher prices in May and just kind of fell on the back burner. And when I brought it back up, they ended up taking our deal. You never know what can happen to sellers too within a long period of time. Sometimes they might owe extra taxes or the building's being more damaged, the tenants are bothering them, so they might sell for different reasons 6 months later. But we get it under contract and my next step is to set up a due diligence period and I'm gonna go look at the property. So for this one, I hadn't even looked at it. I just kind of knew generally from photos what it was and I decided the purchase price would make sense for us. So I go down there and I meet the property manager, and what I always do is take a video. You guys don't see it on YouTube, but I put it up unlisted and I give it to my partners later on. So I pretty much just filmed the rawest video with my cell phone walking through the property just to look at it. So if I get home and I'm wondering something, I can re-pull it up and see, oh yeah, it's electric heat or it's boiler heat, because you see so many properties, you just don't remember them all. I like it. We get about a 40-minute video that I can send to my guys and they can quickly scrub through it to determine, oh yes, it's a property, check. While I'm on that original walkthrough, I'm checking a little bit out of what's going on in the units and what the vacancy level is. For my particular corporation, we are looking for a lot of vacancy because we want to get in and renovate the units. Obviously, different people will have different challenges with financing, but for us, we've been able to push through it. The one thing you always have to learn about financing is you can't take the first no from a bank. You have to continue to ask and ask and ask. And if I've learned anything as being a real estate agent for the last 5 years, making $100,000 even in my first year being a real estate agent, it's the money is in the follow-up. So just because one person says no at the bank, you gotta go and follow up and find out who's gonna say yes. So we're slowly getting our financing down to a science and how we're gonna actually fund all these deals. And at that point, we are able to firm up on the contract. And it's just another series of fake high fives, because first you're excited that you got a deal, then it's under contract, and then you firmed up the contract, but then it's a giant hurry up and wait all the way to the closing. Eventually you get to the closing week and it's an exciting week because usually a lot of emails come and people are scrambling and they need something. But with this particular 22 unit building closing, there was not that much that we had to do. We pretty much just needed to bring our big check to the lawyers and sign our life away. We all signed digitally, but then we actually had to go down to the lawyers and sign with ink. And you wait on closing day, you wait till, I always say 4:59 p.m. But we got the email around 2 o'clock saying you are cleared and closed. And normally pre-pandemic, we would have a big dinner and celebrate that we just got a property, because it's nice to celebrate your wins sometimes too, because if you're really focused in the business world, it just goes on and on and on and you never really know when to celebrate. So this one, we got the place, but there's still a lot of work to be done. Everybody's kind of across the province right now, so no champagne yet. So what's the next thing that I do? I go down to the property and meet with the property manager. We ended up keeping her on because we we figured our property manager would be an hour away, and this person is boots on the ground and knows the property, and I could just tell that there was a passion from this property manager. So we really hope it's going to work out there, and she knows a lot about the area, the tenants, so a really good ally to have on our side. A great thing that she wanted to do was get a bin right away, and I love initiative, and she was going to start demo on all the vacant units. What this will allow is that our contractor, Tom, will be able to go down and start doing the flooring in the kitchens and the bathrooms immediately so that we can get these places rented. One of the things that we do as well is furnish our units. So we put it as good as an Airbnb, but then rent it furnished. We're looking to attract a higher quality tenant that only has a MacBook and a suitcase. We don't need somebody to be dragging their beds through the hallways. There are those tenants out there, they do want a lower rent, and we just like the higher rent tenant. They come with less baggage and it looks way better on our rent roll. So that'll be the goal. We've been pretty successful with that in other cities, so it's okay that this one's an hour away. I know 8 years ago, 9 years ago, I'd be so afraid to purchase a piece of real estate out of city, but now with such systems in place, it doesn't seem that hard at all. And I actually really like broadening my search because now it's like the world's your ocean. You're not just looking in your backyard. So from there, we will rent out those units, hopefully for top dollar, and then we're going to be able to refinance the property, pay off our original investors, and then get our traditional mortgage on the property. And it's that simple. It's all you got to do. And I know it sounds like it is really simple, but remember guys, I started just house hacking in a triplex, learning all these skills, learning all the landlord skills. And I kind of stepped above that and I kind of coached my property managers. So instead of me running to there and dealing with the tenants, I'm kind of just mentoring it. Generally, in 9 years of landlording, I've pretty much seen everything. We've had murderers in our properties, drug dealers, people parking in the wrong spots, all the easy things, noise, pets, hoarders, people that don't pay. It's all part of the business. The best part is, well, maybe it's the worst part, just don't get emotional on that stuff. Treat it like a business. I know it's money, but if you bought a good product to begin with, there's a lot of things you can do to increase the value of the product later on. So don't stress the little things throughout the day. And with that, guys, I do have a real estate agent course where I teach you how to make $100,000 as a real estate agent in your very first year being a real estate agent. So if you want that, make sure you guys check the link in the description. And if you want $10 of free stocks with Wealth Simple, all you gotta do is deposit and trade $100 and you'll get $10 for free. If you guys haven't already, get back and watch my walkthrough video of the 22 unit building. It's gonna show you how big the building is, but where you don't actually have to be afraid of a big building. And if you wanna hear about my next big wins, make sure you guys are following me on Instagram at Jeff Weibo. I do post there every single day of what I'm up to. So get over and follow me on Instagram and send me a DM. I do respond to 99% of people. Unless you're a Forex trader, I probably ignore you. And if you made it this far, guys, make sure you guys have hit the like button down below. Give it a little tap. It really helps me out on the video. And if you haven't already, if you guys could hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to get this channel to 10,000 subscribers. So if you could just hit the little subscribe button, it would help me out so much. I really appreciate you guys all following my journey, and we'll catch you guys on the next video. Bye.